Hello everyone, we are back with more leveling in Russia, otherwise known as Azeroth, otherwise known as the Barons. I just feel like talking like this right now. We got there to hide. What used to be right here? I feel as if it is a binding shot. I need to stop talking like that. Or do I? Binding shot. Wait, you fire a magical projectile tethering the enemy and any other enemies within 5 yards of the landing arrow? What? Let's try it. Who wants to be binding shotted? This guy does. Wait, what? Oh. I see how it works. I see how it works. That's interesting. I don't know if I want it as my T though. I'd rather have like multi-shot. It's my T, you know? Sometimes you just need a multi-shot. Sometimes you just need to multi-shot all your problems away. That's what I'm saying. It's problems such as I needed to put my clothes in the dryer because they've been in the washing machine just sitting there. You know what happens when you have clothes in the washing machine? They just sit there. They get dry. But they get something. I don't know what they get, but they get something. You're supposed to put them in the dryer to dry. That's what I need to dry my clothes. I also need to wash my bed sheets. Oh, the life of an adult is so not interesting. That's why I make YouTube videos. I remember back when back in the day, back when I used to go to the schools, specifically the high schools. No, they weren't high there, as much as everyone going to those schools wished that they were. Actually, some of them were. So never mind. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, I remember it was like my junior year, sophomore year, it was something like that, and my friend's dad was like, you know what, you're gonna, if you know Dan, it's Dan's dad, and he's like, you know what, you are gonna get to the real world, you guys, and you just can't sit around playing video games all day. And I remember, you know, Steve was just like, whatever, and Dan was just like, whatever. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I take that as a challenge. And I think deep down I took it as a challenge, and now I have succeeded. I have succeeded with said challenge. I've brought the video game playing into my adult life, and it is wonderful. I don't know what I'm, I guess the moral of the story is, take things people say and be like, you know what, I'm gonna prove them wrong. That's the moral of the story. I guess. I need to kill more footmen. It is kind of weird, because I remember it's almost been 5 years since I started doing this, which is, that is crazy. Like, that is by all means crazy. Because I remember 5 years ago, I remember writing the It's a Hard Gnome Life story. I remember making the Shaman WoW video and being like, hey, I bet people are gonna, I didn't even think people were gonna like it. I was just like, this would be fun to make, I hope people like it. And some people were like, wow, this is really stupid, but I look back on it and I'm like, you know what, I would have watched this and said, you know what, this is really bad. I would have said that about my own video. But I didn't stop, because that's the thing, is so many people try to get famous, they try to get big, like, I want fame. Like, I didn't care, I wanted to make a video about Shaman WoW, and I thought it'd be funny. And it was, to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do more. And there were some people that liked it, so I was like, you know what, why not? Just keep going. I didn't make it for people, I made it for myself because I thought it was fun. And if other people wanted to enjoy it, so be it. And we get some plans for stuff. Oh, we got roadway plans, nice. But that was 5 years ago, and then I remember writing It's a Hard Gnome Life, and I remember I had the paper, I wrote the script and everything, and then I started writing scripts in my classes. I've talked about that before though, and No, no, it's just crazy. That's 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Time flies, kids. Unless you're not a kid. Time flies, not kids. Time... People always are like, oh, when you get older, time goes by so much quicker. And I think it's just the perception of it. Because when you're a kid, everything seems to go by really slowly. It's like, oh, wow, this is, like, happening. This is crazy. You're like... And when you get older, you start realizing that everything is just like... Oh, it's just another day. You know, it's just... That makes it sound really depressing. It's like... You realize that it's not this giant, like, calendar of events and crazy things. It's just like, oh, you can, you know, it's just another day-night cycle. You know, and I can do things tomorrow that can either give me positive outlook effects on my life or negative effects on my life. Such as trying to locate these final 3 honor stand footmen that are impossible to find. But you know what I'm saying, you know? It's like instead of being like, oh man, I think when you're younger it's hard too because you go to school. And it's like once you're, that's what I always hated. Like I was the person that just never wanted to go to school. I remember in 2nd grade, I was already at the stage where I just didn't want to go. I remember in preschool not wanting to go to school. I was like, I hate this. This is the worst. I hate this with like all of my being. I just hated being around, no wait. I had, my iPhone, and it was like playing a thing. It was playing static in the background, so I'm sorry if you're hearing that static. Who are these people? Random people I don't care about. Either way, I can continue my story that I forgot. Oh yeah, school. I hated school. This is me just running back and forth, by the way. Oh, I gotta go up here. That would have made sense if I looked at the map. I remember just hating school, and then getting the 7th and 8th grade, and hating it even more. 6th grade, I really hated it, actually, now that I think back. 6th grade, it was like, oh, this is even worse. And then high school was like, eh. And college was like, this is better, because I can wake up late, but I don't know what I want to do and I don't want to be here. And it was just, I looked at the format of school. I guess that's what I really didn't like, is the format of school. I was like, they're teaching us things we don't need to know. Like, some people need to know them, but I don't need to know them because I don't want to do that with my life. Like, I need to know basic math, and maybe if I go into marketing, you know, I need to know, you know, maybe basic algebra is like the highest degree of math I would need to know. I'm not going to do engineering. You know, I'm not going to figure out the slope of this mountain in WoW. Like, I don't care. What is it? The slope, Pythagorean theorem, a minus b squared to the, like, I don't care. I'm not doing any of that. Like, I want to know statistics. Like, I gotta, like, for marketing, for business, or video like, school does such a poor job at figuring out your strengths and weaknesses and kind of just grouping everyone together into a big generalization, like a factory, saying, here's your punch card, go to school, get your piece of paper that says you're smart, and then go into the workplace. And really, it sounds like a nice format when you look at it, and everyone's like, oh, go to school and get your education. And it's like, really, it's people go there and they try to find the easiest way to pass and the easiest way to cheat off other people. The majority, I would say. But, you know, there's some people they like study really hard to be a doctor or a lawyer. Even lawyers. I had a lawyer for my machinima thing, I think I said this, and he was like, don't be a lawyer. I was like, why? He's like, I tell my kids not to be lawyers. I'm going to tell you not to be a lawyer. Don't be a lawyer. And I was like, are you afraid of competition or something? And he's like, no. I wish I was. And I was like, oh. Oh. He said it's just a bunch of old models. It's a bunch of loophole finding. Especially, well, I guess in America at least, being a lawyer is that, I don't know about other countries. I forget that I'm talking to, like, other countries as well, so. I'm sure Europe's school system is vastly superior to ours. They probably actually learn things there. What do I need? I don't really want any of this. I'm turning in these quests because I'm on a good rant right now. I don't care about this. Excellent. We're just killing Alliance and building up stuff. I'm on a rant about the school system. Alright, we gotta find Henry Zykes because he's an asshole. Let's go find him. He's up here. But anyway, that's why people were like, don't you want to go to college and learn? I'm like, what am I learning in college? All I'm learning, if I go to you pay thousands of dollars here to go and relearn things you just learned in high school for the first 2 years and decide, what do I want to do? I don't want to pay $1,000. That's why people are like, oh, go to community college then and get your basic stuff out of the way. Like, that's just stupid. I just learned all that. Why do I need to learn it again? And then I'm just going to forget it again anyway, just like I did in high school. That's just a big scam by the colleges. They don't need to do that. They're businesses. Colleges are businesses. People forget that. They just want to make money. And like I said, if you like something that requires certifications, I don't want to go to a doctor that doesn't have a degree in medical stuff. I want them to be like, hey, look, I'm qualified to know stuff about you so that I can give you the correct like things to help you and not give you like something that's gonna be detrimental to you and be like, oh, thank you. But if I'm gonna hire like a, you know, just like some office cubicle person, like say I want to hire a guy to do spreadsheets. Like, he doesn't need a degree to do that. Just be like, hey, do you know Excel? Are you good with numbers? Okay, you're in, you know? And I guess a degree can say, hey, I have been dedicated long enough to get this degree, so I'm going to be dedicated at my job. A lot of people make that argument, but I think that's stupid too. Like, it just means that you paid enough, you had money to go for that long, and you paid for that long. It doesn't mean you tried hard, it means you might have cheated, you just need an ability to, wait, I didn't kill Henry Zykes, where's he, oh, here he is. But there's so much wrong with the school system, that's my point. And people are like, well, how are you gonna get educated? It's like, you don't have to go to school to learn things. You know, people have that assumption that you need to go to school to learn. You learn your whole life, you know? You don't stop learning after you get out of high school or college. You keep learning. I learn every day. We learn every day. We learn by doing things, going places. We learn by going on the internet and actually looking up information and other people's, educated people's opinions and, you know, stuff like that. Not going on Facebook and talking to Bobby and Jenny about how their relationship is in the dirt. I don't care. Bobby can go date a circus elephant and Jenny can go date a freaking gazelle. I don't give a shit. Like, I'd rather, I guess not everyone has the same mindset. That was just always my mindset, was I'm gonna go educate myself. I don't need a building with someone with a piece of paper to teach me what I want to know. And it just depends on what you want to learn, really. I knew for a fact I didn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer. I didn't want to do anything that required a degree. I wanted to, I don't know what I want. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and during the process of trying to find out what I wanted to do, I went to a bookstore instead of going to school one day and just read about programming. I spent like 2 hours in a bookstore reading about programming, then I went home, then I just started learning as much as I could about programming online, and I was like, you know what, this doesn't really interest me, and I started trying things, and eventually I got YouTube, and it turns out that worked well, and it's like, I don't know. Alright, I think my rant's over for that. As you can tell, I have strong opinions on our education system. I just want our education system to not suck. That's all I really want. I want it to not suck. Because, in my opinion, it sucks. Let's talk to this guy.